I'm Dr. Angie Holzer, and I specialize in yoga for mental health. So today let's talk about anxiety and the poses and elements that are helpful and not helpful for anxiety in our yoga practice. So this video is for anyone simply wanting to learn more about anxiety and how yoga can help, also for yoga instructors wanting to help their class members, and health professionals with clients interested in using yoga in their healing practice. So first, let's talk about how anxiety impacts the body. Often those who experience anxiety experience an imbalance in their nervous system. As a reminder, there are two parts to the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, also known as the fight or flight response, which is often overactive with anxiety, while the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest response, is being suppressed or underactive. We need to ask ourselves, what do I need to bring balance to my body and mind today? And remember, while every body is different, it's important to listen to what we need. Many studies support yoga as a way to balance the nervous system. Researchers often measure autonomic balance using HRV, heart rate variability, which is the rate of change in the number of heartbeats per minute between the inhale and exhale. With anxiety disorders, often there is an overactivity of the sympathetic nervous system and underactivity of the parasympathetic nervous system, which leads to a reduction in HRV. This is shown in loss of flexibility, adaptability of the cardiorespiratory system. This is important for those with anxiety because low HRV indicates that the parasympathetic nervous system is low, which helps with feeling calm and relaxed, while the sympathetic nervous system is free to move the body into feelings of fight or flight response. In the book Yoga for Mental Health, it states that this imbalance can lead to increased and chronic release of the excitatory neurotransmitters, norepinephrine and epinephrine, with a consequent increase in arousal, alertness, vigilance, heart rate, respiratory rate, and other physiological functions. So given the links between nervous system dysfunction and stress-repeated medical conditions, such as cardiovascular disease, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic skin conditions such as eczema and psoriasis, it is no surprise that individuals with anxiety disorders often present with these physical conditions. There are 4 interventions that have shown to be really helpful with anxiety. First, mindfulness-based psychotherapies. 2, CBT. 3, relaxation techniques. And 4, exercises. And the different elements of yoga can fit into all 4 of these. The practice of yoga helps to ease an agitated mind. Interestingly, Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga includes many elements used in modern treatment for anxiety. So now let's go over general guidelines of what has been shown to help with anxiety. This can help you restructure a yoga class if you're an instructor, or if it's for yourself, it will help you identify what classes are best for your needs. There are 2 words you need to remember: movement and breathing. Movement, because it helps engage our mind towards our body and out of our own thoughts, also engaging the large muscle groups, which helps in reducing agitation and calming our mind and body. Movement may engage the mind and activate bottom-up calming parasympathetic pathways, positively influencing the internal biochemical environment. With breathing, normally when we inhale, the heart rate slightly speeds up and slows down during our exhale. This is called normal sinus arrhythmia, RSA. So we can use our breath to help slow our bodies down, slowing the breath down and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Also keeping in mind that the vagus nerve is also helpful with those with anxiety. When vagal tone is higher, defensive reactivity is reduced, which allows positive social interactions to occur more easily. Increased vagal tone is also linked to a decrease in symptoms of disorders in which autonomic dysfunction is implicated, such as anxiety spectrum disorders. Check out our video on 20 vagus nerve techniques. Our yoga practice. Classes should start with movement, not a silent meditation or in a resting pose. In an hour class, the first 30 to 40 minutes should be using dynamic movements, keeping the mind focused on the breath and the movement of the body from one pose to the next. Often sitting in a resting pose or slowly moving through a pose isn't a calming experience for those with racing thoughts that often accompany anxiety. We call this anxious rumination. After 30 to 40 minutes of dynamic movements, the body is sufficiently tired to move to slowing down. At this point, it is often helpful to do longer stretches of major muscle groups, which has shown to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and bring calmness to the body and mind. Class styles. So let's do a few comparisons. Let's review the preferred styles of yoga for those with anxiety. Yoga flow versus hatha. Yoga flows keeps the mind actively engaged through quicker transitions, while hatha is known for slow pacing and longer holds, which could encourage anxious rumination. Guided meditation versus silent meditation. Guided meditation is preferred over silent meditation. Guided meditation allows the listener to focus outside their thoughts, which often helps activate the rest and digest response and bring calmness to the body. Stretching versus restorative. Research shows that stretching yoga interventions help reduce stress and regulate cortisol levels, but restorative yoga does not. Research indicates that for those with anxiety, more stretching and movement is preferred to long periods of stillness and silence due to the high potential of anxious rumination. Introduction of a class. Instructors should give a brief overview of what to expect in the class. This could alleviate any anxiety around what to expect in the class. Instructors should give permission for participants to take a break and listen to their body. You should always feel comfortable to adapt and listen to your body's needs. Providing information about the speed of the class, length of the poses will be held, and the expectation of the class can bring certainty and allows participants to relax. Instructors can gently guide participants in their class to tolerate some uncertainty, a helpful skill to learn that can be taken into their daily life. Class sequencing. Start class with dynamic movements and short holds, 45 to 60 seconds. Instead of starting in child's pose, warm up by moving through a cat-cow flow. Or start standing and make large movements with the arms and body. You could also start seated while connecting the inhale and exhale with lifting and lowering the shoulders. Almost all yoga poses can be turned into a movement or a flow. Here are a few examples. After warming up, you could move through sequences that allows you to put together a few movements, engaging all the body and repeating this for several minutes. This allows the mind to focus on the movements or the breath, relaxing the anxious thoughts that are often swirling around. Vinyasa flow could also be a good sequence. A more gentle sequence could be moving through the warrior poses, where warrior 1 and you're inhaling as you move into warrior 2 with your exhale. Reverse warrior, taking a nice deep inhale and exhale before returning to warrior 1. Anything can be made into a flow or movement, whether they are large movements or they move more into arm movements or even following the breath. Listen to the body and adapt where needed. Students should be cued to go at their own pace and listen to their body, knowing that a teacher wants them to tend to their own needs instead of meeting an expectation often helps reduce anxiety. After 30 to 40 minutes of dynamic movements, the body is often tired. Some of the nervous energy has been used up and the nervous system is usually calmer. This is a good time to bring students down to the mat for more gentle, relaxing, and longer holds. Forward bends is a good example of this because it stretches the hamstrings, a large muscle group. Stretching large muscle groups can be relaxing and release physical tension. Breathing exercises. We want to use breathing exercises that cultivate self-regulation and promote resiliency. Ujjayi breath can increase the calming effect of slow breathing by lengthening the exhale and adding vibrational elements to the vagal nerve. Alternate nostril breathing, A and B, Research has shown that this can help balance the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. Meditation styles. Om. One study shows that chanting a mantra or doing the Om helped curb anxiety. Researchers showed that this was because the vibrational stimulation of the vagus nerve. Room configuration. Rows are preferable versus a semicircle, so students aren't facing one another. Eye contact could be hard for those with anxiety. Rows allows individuals to keep their eyes forward instead of gazing at others, or others gazing at them. Instructors can simply cue the option to gaze downward. Here are a few additional things to remember. Neck and shoulder tensions is common with people with anxiety. Teaching postures that helps release the tension in these areas is important. Using pranayama, the breath, during the postures to relax. Things to avoid. Avoid hot yoga. A hot room may trigger anxiety because heat in the body often is present during the stress response. However, a cold room is also not good because anxious people often have cold feet and hands, mainly due to the sympathetic nervous system increases, causing small blood vessels to constrict, sending blood to larger extremities. As a yoga instructor, keep blankets and encourage participants to keep their socks on when necessary. Don't hold the breath. Breathlessness is a common response for anxiety, so holding the breath may exacerbate the fight or flight response. Shavasana. Shavasana should either be avoided or kept short. Longer Shavasanas are not encouraged, while it provides space for rumination for those with anxiety. Instead, use a guided meditation practice where you are focusing on someone's voice instead of your own thoughts. Smells. Essential oils. Smells have been shown to help calm and relax the body. Two smells that have shown to help with anxiety are wild orange and lavender. I hope this information is helpful for you as you move through your anxiety or you help those with anxiety. Please let me know if you have any questions and please comment, subscribe, and like.